Thought our guys had a good response to the loss at Florida with all the turnovers we had against Florida. I thought our guards did a really good job taking care of the ball. We only ended up with 6 turnovers. And look, man, give A&M a lot of credit. They played hard. They're a good team. They were in first place by themselves for a reason. It's a good team with good players, and I think they were averaging 15 plus turnovers a game coming into this. So it took a lot of focus from our guards. You kind of go down the list. Amari had 6 assists, 1 turnover. LeBaron coming off the bad game at Florida with his turnovers, had no turnovers, handling the pressure. He played 36 minutes with 0 turnovers and 3 assists. It's pretty big. Holloway, who has a career high in rebounds tonight, also, had 4 assists, 2 turnovers, and nobody else had more than 2, and thought he did a pretty good job handling the pressure most of the night himself. Reitzel had 3 assists, 1 turnover. So I think when, we've been talking about the possession game, and we have not done a great job in the possession game most of the year. Turnovers were even. Offensive rebounds were plus 8. So plus 8 there kind of make up for the fact that we didn't shoot it particularly well, and we missed too many free throws too. Outside of Aiden Sherrill, we didn't have anybody go 100% at the line. So I thought our bigs did a really good job between Aiden Sherrill and Charles Bediako keeping AG, if that's pronounced correctly, off the glass. That's the lowest number of rebounds he's had all year, with only 3 rebounds and no offensive rebounds. So thought they did a good job there. We did a good job on the glass. Just, and they got some shot making from some guys that typically didn't make shots. There's 5 guys that we kind of had weren't on the shooters list per se, but that threw in, I think, 7 threes combined between the 5 of those guys. So we got to do a little bit better job explaining to our guys, they may not have made many on the year. AG only made 10, Hill only made 9 in 21 games. So these guys are making less than 1 every 2 games or 3 games, but you still got to close out. So, if we'd have done a little bit better job on some of those, I thought we could have opened it up a little more, particularly in the first half, because 6 of those 7 came in the first half. But, then our guys stayed with it. I think we got down 6 in the second half at one point. We bounced back, finished the game on a 6-2 run, I believe, because they were up on us. They were up on us with a minute and a half to go, and we had to kind of close the game there on a run. So thought we did a solid job taking care of the ball late when they really turned their pressure up. We had some iffy ones there, but we got out of it with a win, which we needed bad at this point.
Yeah, Aiden and LeBaron combined for 29 points in the second half after only having 8 in the first. Just kind of what was the message to them at halftime?
I didn't really say anything about scoring. We were not going to talk about scoring this game. We're going to talk about our effort, our toughness, and our playing for each other, our mudita, if you will. So I just told them, we got to get more stops. We got to take away the threes from those guys that maybe aren't known as shooters. We still got to close out, even if we're going to play off them a little more when they don't have the ball, and just keep focusing on getting stops and taking care of the ball. And you know what? I think when those guys focus on the right stuff, like they did tonight, and they're maybe the best backcourt in the country. So, we need Holloway to keep playing like he did. He dug out some tough rebounds late in that game. So for him to have 6 rebounds, 20 points, 4 assists, that's a pretty good game out of him.
Just your bench production today, guys like London and Houston, just what did they provide just that you needed with guys maybe struggling in the first half?
Yeah, we know Houston can shoot. We know London can shoot. Those guys combined to go 50%, 6 out of 12. I thought that particularly in the first half, those couple threes by London were big. Houston's big-time effort guy. We need him to stay out of foul trouble so he can stay in the game a little more. But, man, getting 22 points out of those 2 guys and hitting 6 threes in a game like this is big, so you got to have some shooting off the bench like we had.
What happened on the technical foul, and then kind of how did you see the team respond after that happened?
Tried to stay away from technicals this year. I didn't say anything necessarily that I thought was deserving of it, but probably just said one last comment that I should have just kept my mouth shut. See, I've got on my play card I keep in my pocket here, I got Proverbs 19:11. It says, "The discretion of a man defers his anger, and it's his glory to pass over transgression." So I should have just passed over the transgression, I thought, by the referees, but sometimes I don't pull it out and read it like I need to. So I didn't do a good enough job. I think that's only my second one all year, though, so I know somewhere out there in the Twitter space they keep track of my tees, and we usually win. I think the last time I got a tee this year, we did not win. So I would not have been happy with myself if we'd have lost this game by 1 or 2 points, giving away 2 free points. So
I want to ask you a couple questions about the full court press that y'all saw. Is that as much press as you've seen in a game since you've been at Alabama? One, and two, from a coaching standpoint, are you happy enough that the team did a great job of breaking the press without turning the ball over, or do you also want to see more easy looks off of that?
yeah, great question. One, yes, that's the most anybody's pressed us since I've been here that I can remember. I don't think anybody. I mean, they pressed on every possession for 40 minutes. So nobody that we've played really has done that. We did a great job taking care of the ball. We did not do as good a job getting the quality shots that we'd like to out of it. You know, it's like 48 threes, and I don't mind 48 threes. I think you guys all know that. But they need to be 48 great threes, and I thought we rushed into a few, took some contested ones. And I told them I don't want them turning down open threes, because when you turn down open shots against a team like this, you're bound to turn the ball over later. But I thought we took a few that weren't open. I mean, we were I felt like we could get a paint touch on every possession. They didn't, we could get in the paint a little bit more, get them in the blender more often, end up with some more dunks, fouls, wide open threes. We weren't terrible with our shot selection, but it was not as good as what it needed to be.
You started out by mentioning just the response from the team from the Florida game. What maybe changed or clicked to go from that to beating the top team in the SEC?
I'm going to say this, our guys stepped up, took some ownership. Some guys addressed it in front of the team. It was embarrassing at Florida. I think in order to change some stuff, you got to admit you're wrong. I think some guys admitted their effort wasn't where it needed to be, their mind wasn't where it needed to be, and we got to turn this thing around. So I think it was more an internal thing. We got to get internal leadership from the players. I think it's starting to step up. The practice we had yesterday was as intense a practice as we've had since non-conference for sure. Like, some guys went at each other, some guys challenged some other guys, thought it was great, and then we did more live stuff, kind of good on good first, and we kind of mixed the guys. It wasn't first team, second team necessarily. We had Mari and LeBaron going at it, because we didn't have everybody. And then when we got together at the end of practice and kind of went against our scout team, thought they did a really good job pulling themselves together, realizing we are in the same team. We're challenge each other in practice to make each other better, and then we got to pull together and be on the same team when we play together. And I thought we were a lot better that way tonight and competed a lot harder.
Coach, kind of on that same theme with response and accountability. We saw Jacob Martin before the game get really excited, get really animated in the huddle, and then same thing after the three-pointer to tie to go in the locker room, just getting in everybody's face and keeping that energy very high. What has his role been in the response, and what's his role been kind of on the team?
Yeah, I was not out there. I heard he did a pretty good job getting everybody fired up. I didn't know he had all that in him. He plays hard. He's smart. He's passionate. He comes to work every day. And he does a really good job on our scout team and making our bigs better. And I liked it. I mean, shoot, I need to get a video. I haven't seen it. I heard from a couple of the assistants, the players talked about it, and then I got to do radio at halftime, so I guess I didn't get to see his halftime celebration either. But I'll say this: the things Jacob's about, the stuff we got to be about, playing hard, toughness, rebounding, blue collar. So the play to end the half was a offensive rebound tip by Houston that led to a three, which ends up being a game-winning play. I mean, it's a one-possession game, and we needed those 3 points in a bad way that tied it at the half. So I love the fact he celebrated that like it was the best dunk you've ever seen, because we got to make this thing more about effort, blue collar, tough plays like that.
After the back-to-back dunks by Texas A&M in the first half, it seemed like you gave Charles Bediako a little bit of an earful after he checked out. How do you feel like he responded to that moving forward?
Charles has been coached by me before. Charles knows there's an intensity level he's got to bring. Maybe they don't coach like that in the G League. I don't know. But he got to get up and make a play. He's in there for his shot blocking. He can't just watch the guy run by him and get dunks. I love Charles. Super happy he's here. Our players love him. He's like the best teammate ever, but that doesn't mean you can't coach him and challenge him. Every good player wants to be coached hard, and Charles is no different.
Some big offensive buckets late. Latrell Wright's in the corner, and then that Holloway circus shot. We knew he could shoot the three from when he was at Auburn, but just how much better has he gotten at the rim, and then your take on that crazy shot at the end of the game?
Yeah, so obviously Wright's hits big shots. I think he's been one of our best big shot maker in the games he's played since he's been here. I can go through a number of games where he's hit clutch shots late in games to seal a lead, give us a lead like it did tonight, put us ahead. So no surprise from Reitzel. Super happy for him. He's been one of our leaders stepping up to try to make this about the right stuff. So, yeah, it was great. I mean, and he goes 4 for 11. It's not 7 for 10 like he was against Missouri, but it's good. I mean, it's, over 33%. And we needed all 4 of those threes he made. And then, Holloway is one of the best shooters I've ever coached. But he didn't shoot it great from 3 tonight, but he's really gotten a lot stronger. He's worked hard since he's been here. He's gotten with Henry, our strength. Matter of fact, all the guys are lifting right now. So he's working on his body. He's gotten a lot stronger. Amanda, our dietitian, has gotten him, beefed up. He weighs a lot more. I think he can use it and get downhill. He's crafty finisher, but I think he's gotten stronger to where he can take some contact and shoot. That was a disastrous set. In hindsight, I probably should have called a timeout when it wasn't going well. They didn't really get in the action I wanted them to, and most of the time it's a lot better to have great players than it is to have the great plays. And we certainly didn't have a great play on that possession, but we had great players, and great player when made a great play, and it's a lot better to have great players than it is to have good plays.
Just given how badly you guys wanted to win this game tonight, what did you make of the urgency there from your team over the last couple of minutes?
Yeah, we needed to win in a bad way. I told these guys coming in that just because, and I thought we got our minds right since Sunday, because Sunday was a disaster. One of the most embarrassing games I've ever been involved with in my life, to be honest with you. With our effort, our turnovers, our focus, terrible. And I thought we did get our minds right Sunday after the game, but more Monday, Tuesday. Even walked through this morning, I thought we were really focused. But I told them before the game, just because you have your minds right doesn't mean everything's going to go well. No, we're going to still face some adversity. I mean, we can't get over this injury bug. It was like the weirdest thing at the beginning. I thought we were ready to have a great practice Monday or Tuesday. My fault, Tuesday, and was it Tuesday or Monday? No, I can't remember which one it was. No, it was Tuesday. We actually practiced hard Tuesday, and Amari rolls his ankle in a walkthrough. Reitzel gets bumped into somebody, not even in a drill, and, has an Achilles scare that he has to get scanned on and can't practice after I thought he was bound to have the best practice he's been able to have. And stuff happens. Like, you face a little adversity. And I told him, like, don't expect things to go perfect. I don't even want them to go perfect. There's gonna be some mistakes. They're gonna make some tough shots. Sure enough, 6 threes in the first half from guys that don't really make threes all year. So, and then second half, the fouling obviously wasn't going our way. In the second half, part of that's us. We got to do a better job guarding without fouling. So, we face a little adversity. All of a sudden, we find ourselves down 6. Like, we tried to prep them for it, but I thought they did a really good job responding. And then, like you said, the sense of urgency late, especially when A&M's sense of urgency went up and their pressure led to more. And we almost turned it over. You go to that one play when it's almost 10-second call on the jump ball. Reitzel dives in there and makes a tough play on a loose ball. We just think the guys really wanted to win. They made some tough plays when we needed to, and happy for the guys.